Good evening, guys. And I can say it's good evening because I am alone. No, I'm not alone. We don't have Plaz with us today, but I do have my good friend Biff the Banana.
Hello.
Right here. So this is just the exclusive UK content coming for all
The
you
big British Isles collab.
for you big juice gamers. So we are doing part 2 of our collab not yesterday, a few days ago now. Plaz, we're talking about all the Pokemon that haven't been drafted. We're going to see, are they going to go in Season 4? How good are they? So first, before we carry on with the list, what are your thoughts on it so far? Anything that you would change?
Well, it's good. It's interesting you ask because I'm not sure about how highly you guys rated Brute Bonnet because I personally think it's kind of dog.
Okay.
I think it's.
You want to elaborate?
I'm not quite sure. I'm just not quite sure what role it fulfills. If you give me just a second, I'll pull his there's a DB page up for him. Because he's what? He's a bulky attacker and he's got a good attack and he's got decent bulk and he's got an alright typing. Until you look at all the weaknesses, like you're weak to fire, to ice, to fighting, to poison, to flying, to fairy, and you're quad weak to bug.
That's very
And
true.
you've not got a strong move pool. Your only real coverage option is close combat, which is good, but there are dozens of Pokemon that get it and are better.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to look at Amoonguss before you look at Brute Bonnet. Okay, we'll move it down a little bit. We'll put it here.
I think I'd still keep it in Likely to Go, but a bit below those, because I mean it does still get Spore.
Yeah,
and Protosynthesis is still not bad if you can get a sort of a team around it, or even if you want to sacrifice the booster energy. I say sacrifice, but if you want to use it,
I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, so anything else?
Honestly, not really. I think I agree with most of them. I think Hooper looks really strong, but I don't know if people will use it. Regular Hooper, that is, opposed to Unbound.
Yeah, I mean it's in tier 3, I'm pretty sure, but
like it could be a good value pick, but that's kind of I didn't really think about it much.
No, me neither, to be honest, until we were talking about. Okay, so we've got a lot of Pokemon to get through, so let's get cracking. Let's go for that quick. So we're starting with Kingdra. What are we thinking? I think Kingdra is definitely a Pokemon you're drafting because you're building a rain team. It's a fantastic swift swimmer, decent all-round stat. Outside of rain, I don't think it brings quite as much. It's
a tier 3, isn't it, Kingdra?
It is tier 3.
Yeah, I think you're looking at other water types in tier 3 if you're still fairly early on, like Araquanid, Blastoise, just to name 2. But I mean, it's not bad, is it? It's 75 HP is not terrible, and 85 speed is an okay tier, and 95 in its attacks and defenses is.
It's a great speed tier. Once you got Swift Swimming, you're gonna outspeed everything. I think this is a maybe because it's very team reliant.
Yeah, I think so as well. So it's got a few good options to be potentially a bulky mixed attacker, but
I think
there are Pokemon that do it better.
I think we're going to put it about here because it's very.
I think that's fair.
Very reliant on what else you're going to draft around it. Cloth. Yeah. I don't know much about Cloth. Let's have a look on.
I like Cloth. So for those who don't know, Cloth is an interesting sort of bulky physical attacker with some slightly lacking special defense, but he gets Regenerator.
That is very good.
I love. He also gets Anger Shell, which is pretty good. But it's just a worse Shell Smash, and he gets Shell Armor, which could be nice. Probably, I think you're going to run Regenerator if you're running this, but Mono Rock isn't. It's not great, but it's not the worst typing. An 100 attack and 115 defense with 70 HP, and it's got like a 75 is probably not a great speed tier, honestly, because you're not slow enough to Trick Room and you're not fast enough to be fast. But
yeah, I don't think it's quite. For a tier 4 pick, I think it would be a good stealth rocket. It does get Trailblaze. Again, it's not the best speed tier, but it's something. It's got an okay. You've got Crab Hammer, Brick Break.
You get access to
Knockout.
high horsepower and stomping tension.
You know what? I think this is a good maybe. Maybe
Yeah, I think it'd be
in the
high up
tier.
in the maybes. It's got some very good moves. It gets Crab Hammer, which is very nice.
Yeah, let's put it about here.
But I think Regenerate is what pushes it up for me.
Yeah.
I think having that is very nice.
Cleavor. Okay, so Cleavor, just like Hisuian Samurott, which I've used, has a signature move where you set up Stealth Rock, which
That's Stonex, yeah.
that is insane. And you've got sharpness and 135 attack.
Not to mention a good, only 130 attack, but 85 speed.
No, it's 135 here. It's telling me.
Oh, I think it's that might be PLA stats.
Okay.
I think it's down for Scarlet and Violet. I think I'm looking at Pokemon DB.
Okay, fair enough. So you've got sharpness,
We'll check.
but you've also got sheer force. So it's an odd one because you can go sheer force life orb, but then you sacrifice setting Stealth Rock with that move. But it does mean you kind of have to prepare for both. Are you getting the sharpness or the sheer force sets? So I think this is quite likely to go.
I think so as well. And I think
think this-
given it's tier 2 this season and it's an Evo of Scyther, which means you should get a lot of Scyther's moves, right? Like you maybe could get dual wing beat on it.
You do get dual
I mean,
beat on it.
You get dual wing beat. You've got acrobatics. It's got close combat now. You know,
get
you've got
Trailblaze. A lot of Pokemon get Trailblaze now.
looking at sharpness. You've got X Scissor. You've got Slash as well as Stone Axe. Hey, Stone Axe is crazy. What's that? 97 base power stab move that sets rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
That feels illegal.
I think there's a lot of whether it's a sharpness in setting rocks or Stone Axe or it's a sheer force life orb set. I think you can do plenty with Cleavor. I think someone is going to pick that up.
Cleavor's going to be putting holes in teams, and I'll be honest, I've been looking at it.
Yeah. Okay, so Komodo. So, right, I have franchised Great Tusk, but I was very much considering taking this Pokemon. Otherwise, I think if we look at its, I think what it really stands out. It's got very sort of all-round stats. Its ability, meh, it's okay. Typing, not that great.
I mean,
but it's
you're possibly running
its move pool. You've got nearly every type of setup move. You've got Rock Polish, you've got Dragon Dance, you've got Swords Dance, you've got... I'm pretty sure you get Belly Drum on this. I might be wrong. You do get Belly Drum.
You do have Belly Drum,
You get Clangorous Soul. And with those kind of really balanced stats, there's so many sets you can do. And I think this would be a really good Pokemon for Terra. I think Terra Steel on this thing, take all its weaknesses into resistances, and I think you have a really strong Pokemon with a lot of versatility, and your opponent's really going to have to figure out what set you're going to bring every week.
Yeah, it's really a Pokemon you can kind of mold to fit your team rather than the other way around. I really like. I mean, I've never used Komodo to be completely honest, but it looks pretty fantastic. There's some nice special stab there with clanging scales.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
not
absolutely. Like you've got a great move pool to go physical or special. You've got base 125 defense body presses. 85 is a good speed tier for a setup sweeper. You know, for Dragon Dances.
1D dance and you'll start running around things.
Yeah, or you go like Citrus Berry, Clangorous Soul, Sub Clangorous Soul.
Yeah, I mean, there's just tons. You've got all the elemental punches.
I really like this Pokemon. I think
Set weather with it.
potential. I think we're going to put it about here.
He's in tier 2, right?
He is now in tier 2, was in tier 1.
Interesting. He's going to be directly competing with Salamence in that tier.
I think that'd be very different roles. I think there's value for
I
both
think
of
so
them.
too.
Crocodile. I'd like Crocodile as well. I think Crocodile's another quite likely to go.
Where do we find
maybe a little bit lower down. But you've got decent stats. Intimidate. Stealth
It's
rocks.
a good. Moxie's nice as well. You can't sleep on that one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you get Anger Point now.
It's got a strong attack, and that's a good 92 speed actually. That's quite fast. It's got a very, very nice offensive typing of ground dart. I quite like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm assuming you get knockoff. You've got Earthquake, of course.
Sure, yeah.
You get the Elemental Fangs, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah. Well, you get Thunder and Fire. I don't know about Ice.
Oh, okay.
But you certainly get Thunder. You know, you're probably running Fire anyway to cover your Ice weakness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Thunder for any immunities to flying. But if you're running for flying, you're running a rock move like, well, Rock Tomb.
Yeah, I think this is a very strong Pokemon.
Yeah,
Okay.
this Crocodile's very nice. I think I'd put him. Where have you put him?
I'll put him unlikely around here.
Oh yeah, I think that's fair for a tier 3 for that value. I think you know.
Even tier 3.
Someone's got to get him. Sure.
Oh my, yeah. Pick this thing up in tier 3.
There are some strong picks in tier 3. There are some strong picks.
Okay, so Kyurem, your favorite Pokemon.
Listen, I like Kyurem. Half the reason I got it was to keep someone else from getting it. You know, you keep it out of other people's. There's not a bad stat on Kyurem's list.
That's very true.
Nothing below 9.
I think this Pokemon. I was surprised no one took it last season. Like, right at the start of Gen 9, a lot of people talking about chilly reception and the new effects of snow. And I think
you would have benefited.
A lot of people talking about Titan or Baxcalibur, but this is the best one to do it with.
I don't want to think about how my season would have gone if I drafted a Kyurem instead of Titan. Thank you very much.
Wow.
I don't want to think about that.
I'm sorry, but it would have gone so much better. Will it 100% get drafted? I don't know.
With Kyurem Black there, I don't know.
Because the other case is, a lot of people saw, unfortunately, Titan not do so well in snow last season. So it's whether people would take the risk with snow. I think it has a lot of potential. You know, the sub-toxic roost
Kyurem is nuts.
In
you can
snow.
You want to talk about all-rounders like Komodo? This is the gravy of all-rounders. This thing is it.
I think this is going to get dropped. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the tier, but I think it is going to get taken this time.
I think it's got to be 130 in both attacks, 95 speed, and 125 HP with 90 in both defenses, and it's wrong offensive typing. If you Terra this as well, if you make this say Terra Steel or Terra Fairy, you're smoking things.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Or you go Terra Ground, you get rid of all your Steel types, bring in a nice Fairy.
It's incredible.
Go to town.
So much you can do with Kyurem. I mean, you've got, even for coverage, we've got what, Flash Cannon, Iron Head, you can go physical special with that Steel.
Yeah.
It gets Blizzard. Oh, if you run Chilly Reception with this, and you're running Blizzards in the snow with this.
Oh my goodness.
You can just run that and just start punching holes in people.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You can even go Terra Ice and just really go nuts.
Okay, so then we have Landorus Incarnate. So, just to clarify, Landorus Incarnate, the rule is no sheer force.
No sheer force and Incarnate.
Yeah, so just Sound Force, Landorus is decent. I mean, obviously he's a great Pokemon. Sound Force, you build the right team around this, and it will do a lot of damage.
True. I mean, it's got a slight speed advantage over its Therian form, and it's maybe a bit more of a mixed attacker. But I'll be completely honest. I'm gonna have to quickly look on the spreadsheet. I don't know what tier Incarnate's at. Yeah, for tier 1, I don't know.
I think
tier 1, I'm not sold.
Without sheer force, you're not going to look at this Pokemon before you look at its Therian form or some other ground types.
Yeah, there are better options for what this thing does.
I think it's a maybe.
I think I'd be bold and say low maybe. Like for tier 1, like that's some power level.
We'll put it with Dracovish.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what it's up against in terms of not only tier 1 ground types, but tier 1 sort of bulky mixed attackers, if you like. I mean, I don't know. That's in the same tier. We've just covered Kyurem. I know that's a different. probably a different. I mean, obviously it's Dragon Ice, but it fills that sort of bulky attack niche. And while it's slightly slower, like your output with that, for example, is so much higher. Or I don't know. I just don't see it being drafted personally. I don't know how much there is to use it over the Therian form, or even something in a lower tier.
Okay, so Lilligant is a tier 4 grass type, 110 special attack, chlorophyll with 90 speed. You put this on a Sun team, and you know Sun is a more valuable playstyle now with all the photosynthesis mons flying around. Walking Wake's just been added into the game. You know, there's a lot of variety you can do with Sun teams now.
So it's tier 4. It's a nice low tier pick. And tier 4 is quite.
It gets
quite
Quiver
lacking.
Dance.
It does. It's a good user as well. It's not bad.
So
I think
Quiver
on the
Dance, Solar Beam in Sun, it could be quite powerful.
Pretty good. And it can self-set with that side if it needs to as well. And then you could throw Solar Beam on there too.
Yeah.
I think it gets Solar Beam.
What it doesn't get is an awful lot of special move pool outside of Hidden Power.
No,
There's a
the
lot
only
of
real
just
coverage I can
grass
see at the
types.
moment is Pollen Puff. That's all I can see so far. And Dream Eater, but you're not using Dream Eater with this.
No, so I think
That's not. Yeah.
I think this
It's
is
a bit limited.
I think this
but
is a maybe, because
yeah.
if you are building a Sun team and you want a good value chlorophyll sweeper, then give it a look. But just take note that it's not got a huge amount of coverage. Line Moon, the belly drum. Belly drum Linoon.
Linoon's
Has the
tier
potential.
3. You know, I'm gonna be honest, for tier 3,
It's tier
there are some good options in tier 3. We've got Donphan in tier 3. I don't know why that's not what's drawn my eye. But I mean, what's Linoon? You're running the belly drum set.
You've got belly drum extreme
You're running
speed,
the belly drum set.
which is
But you're running
very,
that.
it is very attractive, to be honest. I mean, if it didn't have extreme speed, you wouldn't look at it, because only 100 base speed. Then belly drum is very risky with how fast a lot of powerful Pokemon are nowadays. But belly drum extreme speed, you could Terra normal, you do a lot of damage. But are you gonna use your Terra on Linoon, or are you gonna use it on something a lot more powerful?
True, and I don't know if it's just me, but for a lot of people, I think when you're looking at tier 3, there's a lot of good sort of utility picks you can have here, a lot of things to cover weaknesses and plug gaps. I don't think Linoon offers any of that. I think it's a bit of a one-trick pony. It's a good trick, don't get me wrong, but it's
I think it,
you know,
I
it's a
think
bit
it'd be-
limited.
I think it'd be a good tier 4.
I think it would be a good tier 4. So
You
I think
know-
in tier 3 there's
You
too
see
much
Linoon
competition.
on a team, you know exactly what it's gonna run for the most part.
Well, still, this is just baselining, right? Are we counting Galarian? Because then you'd get Eviolite. I mean, that's
No, we're just talking about baseline.
just basically, yeah. I think for tier 3, you're not super looking at this. Yeah, low maybe. I like that.
Okay, so then Lycanroc.
I like Lycanroc Dusk. You know,
I do like Lycanroc. It's a tier 3 again, it's a rock type. You've got rock based priority.
it's one of the Pokemon I looked at last season when I was sort of in my last trades. It's got some good options. You get Thunder and Fire Fang, you get Trailblaze, Drill Run, Stealth Rock, Crunch. You get Close Combat now as of Gen 9. Like that's some good moves.
That's a decent-
Looking at the
That's a decent move pool, yeah.
and looking at the Dusk form, and then you get Stab Stone Edge. You can get Sucker Punch or Accelerock for your priority. There are some good, you could even run like some She's Sand Attack set if you wanted to.
You've got Zen Headbutt, you got
There's some good
Trailblaze.
stuff there.
Decent
and it
move
gets-
pool, Play Rough. You've got Drill Run, Play Rough is that fairy ground coverage that hits basically everything for neutral.
It's even got Psychic Fangs. if you were planning for some sort of specific threat. But
Yeah,
you've got some options to work with. I think I like it.
I think this is quite good. Where do you want to put it?
I think I've been looking at the moveset for the wrong form, because Dusk form also gets Outrage. So I think I'm gonna put that for the same tier as Lanoon. I think I've got to put that in either at the very top of maybe, or somewhere around the lower middle of likely to go for me. That's a lot of power, a lot of moves.
Let's put it just below Heracross, I think. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, my boss diff.
I don't have tons of experience with my boss diff, but
our sad boy that loves sandwiches. But he gets Intimidate. He gets a good attack stat. Not a terrible speed tier. Let's see if he's got the move pool to cover it.
Interestingly, he gets Guard Dog, which is okay if you're coming up against an opponent you know has Intimidate, which could be more helpful in draft than in a Gen 9 ladder right now. He gets all 3 Fangs and Psychic Fangs, as well as Stab, Crunch, and Jaw Lock. Does he get Crunch actually? I don't know if he gets Crunch. He gets Crunch. Yeah, you've got Jaw Lock, you've got Outrage. There's some strong moves on here actually. I like this move.
This is in tier 3.
This in tier 3, I like this, you know. I could look at this. That's a strong attack stat. It's pretty bulky, he's a good defensive type, and he's got a lot of coverage, everything from Play Rough to the 3 Fangs.
Yeah, true, you've got a lot of move pool. I don't think it's quite as good as, say, Lycanroc or some of these at the top of maybe, but I think maybe a kind of middle of the road maybe.
I think above Lilligant and maybe below Gigalith. I think.
Okay. Right.
I think having Intimidate is good.
Let's talk about the next 2 together, Magneton and Magnezone.
Okay.
So I think
are they differently tiered? They must be.
Let's have a look. So Magnezone
is tier 2. Magneton must be in tier 5 because I can't. Oh, I search on the tier list for it, nothing comes up, so it must be tier 5.
Okay, so Magneton, even with a Violite, you've got. It's kind of alright bulk wise. It might be a good tier 5 choice.
Pretty good bulk wise.
I'm really surprised no one has ever drafted Magnezone.
Yeah, me too. I love Magnezone.
To go Pokemon.
One of my favorites. You've got some great abilities there. Good move pool.
Especially remember when I had it in the WBC? And that was a format where Hidden Power wasn't allowed.
Yeah, and you still did work with it.
Hidden Power is allowed in this format.
Yeah, so you can run. Oh no, yeah, that's got to be somewhere at the high end of likely.
So you trap those steel types. You HP Fire. You HP Fighting. I mean, you've got Body Press as well. You've got Dish. You've got all your electric moves. For stuff like Corviknight, but it just really rounds that off. So we're gonna put it.
Oh yeah, and you could say the same for Magneton.
That's
with
true.
A slightly better speed here as well. And with Eviolite, you're probably matching, or close to matching anyway, Magnezone for bulk with. I think it's only 20 in each defense higher than
That's
Magneton.
True. I see value in Magneton as a tier 5 pick. I think
it's a tier 5, yeah.
Quite near the top of maybe.
It has to be because a very similar move pool and that many resists is good. Very good.
Okay, so Malamar.
Malamar's tier 4.
Contrary, Infiltrator, Dark Psychic type is you're 4 times weak to Bug, to U-turn, and your stats are very mid.
It's got good abilities. I'll be honest, I think the stats are poor.
Oh yeah, no, they're mid. So mid.
Your best stat's 92, and that's your attack. That's not incredible. You're really relying on say, contrary superpower there to get you going. I think a lot of people would be using that if they're using Malamar. And
I think the problem with doing that is you don't have the sort of immediate bulk or a decent enough speed tier to support that.
No, and your move pool has your only real coverage move favoring that attack is Liquidation. Otherwise, you're looking at some special moves like Flamethrower or Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
it's really it's a bit. It strikes me as quite a confused Pokemon.
I think this is our first F of part 2.
I think even for tier 4, this is
even below some of these.
You got to be pretty. You got to be pretty desperate to draft this.
I might put it. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of air.
Such a cool design, but it's just not good.
Yeah. Okay. So Mantine. You've got Water Veil. You've got Water Absorb. You've got that 140 special defense.
You've got a wham special defense stat. I quite like Mantine.
You're a flying type that's you're neutral to rocks, aren't you? With
you
the water,
I believe not. No,
Oh,
water
no.
does not resist rock. No, you're still weak to the rocks,
Okay,
which
so
is
that
not great.
that
But
is
you
a
are
problem.
immune to spikes and the webs.
Yes, that is true. You've got an 80 base special attack. You've got defog. You've got recovery. You've got toxic tailwind. What tier is this in?
I think for a tier 4, you could definitely do worse. As we've just seen, you could definitely do worse. I quite like Mantine.
I rate that as a tier 4 pick.
I think with access to, you've still got the standard water type coverage moves. You've got access to your ice beams, your blizzards. He's got earthquake if you want to run physical Mantine for some reason. Interestingly, he gets signal beam, which might be one not many people think about, but he gets signal beam, and for that bulk as well, he gets haze, which could be very nice. He could come in on a special attacker if it's car-minded up or something and reset the playing field if you like.
Oh, okay.
He's got roost as well. He's got recovery, so he's got some staying power. I quite like Mantine. Where have you put him? I'll sign out again.
So we're gonna put it in maybe.
Mid maybe. I put him above Kingdra, you know.
Okay.
Just for the fact I think he's a tier lower. I think he represents
and
slightly better value.
Fits on more teams.
He's got a more defined role.
Alola Marowak is a weird Pokemon. So obviously you've got 3 immunities, which is great. You've got Curse Body, which is another good ability. These stats are a bit confusing for a Pokemon.
Yeah, I think what it is it still gets that boost from the Thick Club, doesn't it? Which is why its attack is probably only 80. But I don't know.
What you do, you get a few good. You got Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Stealth Rock.
Tell you what, for tier 4 actually, it's not looking that bad. But you kind of have to run that Thick Club because you're not hitting much otherwise. With the attack.
I think this is I think there's quite a few Ghost Fire types. Like in the same tier, you have. We'll get to this later. Is Hisuian Typhlosion. And I don't think you're gonna look at this before you look at that Pokemon.
No,
so I think this is an air.
There's also lacking physical ghost stat that I can see so far, which is not helpful.
Okay,
Medicham's interesting. You get its pure power isn't on Medicham, but it's essentially huge power again.
Yeah. So what was it? 120 attack.
Yeah, essentially, and then 80 speed.
Is a
fighting psychic. It's a tier 3.
Tier 3, yeah.
It's good. What it has going for it is coverage. It's got all 3 punches. It's got poison jab for that nice anti-fairy. You could go mix
Nightshade.
You got Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Aura Sphere, and Psychic. You could go mixed or special, or it's a very poor special attack stat. It's got high. The big problem for it is it doesn't have close combat. It gets high jump or axe. Oh, it does have close combat. Never mind. Gen 9 has got close combat. I think 120 attack, stab, close combat is never going to be bad.
I think if you're looking for a fighting type in tier 3, then it's not too bad. If you're looking for a psychic type in tier 3, then this is not your option. You've got Celebi, Bronzong, Espeon, all in that same tier. So I think I'm gonna put this kind of.
I'd put it low, maybe.
A lower, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's got some stuff it can do well, but it's not the best.
Mega Absol.
Ah, this Super Lockmon.
So you've got well, it's magic bounce once it Mega Evolves.
Was
so
it Mega Evolves?
There's
That's
one
good.
thing going for it already.
It's got nice attack and it's got good attacks and good speed. 150 base attack is quite nice.
Yeah, good speed tier. Fantastic attack stat. Let's also talk about the fact you've got Justified before you Mega Evolve. So if you can you can switch into a knockoff on this Pokemon.
Yeah, you
not lose your Mega Stone,
nice.
get your attack up, Mega Evolve, and go to town. Which tier is it?
This Mega is I've just accidentally closed the tab.
It's a tier 2. So it's a tier 2 Mega.
So you'd save a couple points, isn't it?
Yeah, you save some points with it. You got a good amount of move pool here, from what I can see. You got
my big thing is you're competing with Mega Aerodactyl in that tier, as well as Mega Garchomp, Sharpedo, or Beedrill. And I don't know if it's better than many of those.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Garchomp, perhaps. But I don't know about the others, because Dark is unfortunately not an amazing offensive typing.
No,
it's not bad.
I think it's towards the top of the maybe tier, maybe below Crawdon.
I think it's lacking a lot of physical coverage to really, I mean, I guess you get play rough. Okay, you get fairy coverage, and you get some fangs. Never mind. But I don't know.
Mega Gardevoir then. So you've got a
same tier as Mega Absol, if I remember right. So Mega tier 2 again.
Yeah, this is a tier 2 Mega. Psychic and Fairy, so shares a type with, say, like Tapu Lele. Does outspeed Tapu Lele, except Tapu Lele usually runs a Choice Scarf. You've got that 165 special attack with that 135 special defense.
And you're running Pixel.
Nothing is touching this on the special side. But then you've got a good move pool. You've got Pixelate.
Yeah, you can run the same as Sylveon, the fairy hyper voice.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got Synchronize before you Mega Evolve as well. So there's definitely value in taking this Pokemon. I think this is quite likely that someone's going to try and play around with this Pokemon.
People will look at it. I think it's got some everyone knows how good Gardevoir's coverage is. It's got a really deep move pool, and that special attack is kind of disgusting. It's very similar
absolutely.
to... Yeah, it's just nuts.
Okay, so Mega Kangaskhan, which has just been unbanned.
Yeah, this will be drafted.
This will be drafted. There's no reason for it not to be.
I've scrimmed a couple people, and a couple people are definitely looking at it. Yeah. Okay, you don't get Seismic Toss, but you still get the Power Punch. That's all you need. You just run Power Up Punch and 3 other moves.
Absolutely.
There's nothing else, and you're just going nuts. This thing is scary. This thing worries me a lot. You've got very solid 100 speed and 125 attack. We don't need to linger on this. People are going to get it.
It's insanely bulky as well. 105, 102, and then 100 with those offensive stats is ridiculous. Yeah, someone is taking this. This is gonna be above.
This has got to be right up above the. I think right above Claude. I think
above Claude.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is really going to be looked at. I'd be very surprised if it didn't get taken.
Another Mega that I think will definitely be drafted this time, because this is Latias.
This is Latias.
Yeah, so Latios has been drafted. Right. Mega Latias, I think, is the better of the 2 Megas.
Oh, really?
I think so, because, like, Mega Latios, you got amazing special attacking stat, but you can't run, say, like a Choice Specs or a Choice Scarf.
Right.
Like regular Latios, you can go Specs, Draco Meteor, you could Terra it if you wanted to. I think you're better off picking regular Latios than you're on the Mega. But Mega Latias, you put max HP and max physical defense into this, and it is unkillable.
True, it's not going anywhere. That 120 defense, 150 speed F.
It's absolutely
it's in the same speed tier
unkillable.
as...
And you still have 140 special attack.
True, you just throw a Draco on that, and you can just harass. You come out, wall something, and harass it with Dracos. Like this.
Yeah, you can be absolutely unkillable. You could defog. So you can run a much more defensive set. You could catch someone off guard and go really offensive. You can do stored power sets with this Pokemon. There is value in this.
And for as bulky as it is as well, that speed tier, that's the same speed as Mega Gallade. Same Gengar, like that. This thing is quick, and it won't go down as easy as either of those two.
Yeah, I'm going to put it slightly lower than some of these newer...
I think I'd put it above... actually, no, because it's a Mega Slot, isn't it? That's the big thing.
Yeah, well, it's also only because some of these have just been unbanned, so I think people are looking at these. Yeah, that's going to be the
recency bias, yeah.
Okay, Mega Pidgeot.
Hate it, no.
Do you want to elaborate beyond that?
Awful. It's just weak. It's just weak. I mean, it's what? It's tier 3. You're in the same tier as Mega Manectric and Mega Ampharos. You're picking either of those. This thing is 135 special attack and 121 speed. No, your Mega Gardevoir at home.
For a Mega Pokemon, those are poor
You're
stats.
not good. It's. I mean, you're what? You're barely hitting above. You're barely better than a Gengar. So and that's not even talking about Mega Gengar or even Alakazam.
We don't think this is going to go then. This is.
It's also its move pool. What are you hitting with this? You know, you've got to run Hurricane. That's your stab. Then you get what? Heat Wave for coverage. That's it.
Yeah, it's not
maybe Hyper
Beam.
That's it. Like, it's poor.
This is an epic.
Poor. It's poor. First Mega and F. Yeah, I just don't like it.
Above Mara. I've got to start scrolling down to get these Pokemon. Okay, so Mega Sableye. So we've just seen how you did with Sableye.
Yeah, regular Sableye's a demon.
Now, regular Sableye gets Magic Bounce instead of Prankster. So how does that? And you get a lot more bulk. So you're a defensive Mega this time.
I think you have to be a certain type of evil to draft Mega Sableye. Because those defenses and that typing with Magic... The big thing for me is a Magic Bounce is very good. But the thing is, we've seen it with Absol, we see it here. Do you want to give your Mega Slot to have Magic Bounce when there are Pokemon like, as you went over last time, Hatterene and Espeon that have that ability?
Yeah.
And can then hold an item. For me, if I'm getting Sableye in any form, I'm getting him for Prankster. But this is, I can't lie, it's still good. It's still really strong.
Good. We think
it's still all those moves. You can just not Mega Evolve it. I think likely, lower likely, because you can still use it as a Prankster, right? You don't have to click that Mega Evolution button. No way.
That's very true. Yeah, it's like Mega Slowbro.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's
so
usable
we'll put it about. So we'll put it about. I think
likely, yeah.
Okay, Mega Steelix. So 230 physical defense, 95 special defense,
65. Oh no, I'm on the base. Yeah, 95
HP.
And it's not got a terrible output. 125 attack is okay. This is kind of Mega Aggron at home though. Its typing is bad.
Yeah,
ability is worse.
It's definitely not as good as Mega Aggron. We saw Mega Aggron do quite well last season.
Indeed.
What you do get with this is a lot of extra points.
True, it's in that.
But it's probably you're looking at a Mega Slot, and it's less likely you're looking at.
It's worth noting this is the first season we don't need to draft Megas.
Exactly. In a season where you don't have to draft a Mega, why look at the lower tier Megas?
Yeah, like, why drop... Right, you can look at any Pokemon in any tier. Why are you drafting Mega Steelix over fellow Steel or Ground types in Tier 1?
Absolutely. Okay, so Mega Swampert is a little... We're picking up a little bit with the Megas. Two more. Few more Megas. So Mega Swampert is in tier 2.
I think he's in tier 2. What I like is he keeps his typing.
Yeah, you keep
We've seen a
your
couple
typing.
of
You definitely,
Pokemon.
again, you're an amazing rain sweeper with that 150 attack.
You are.
And you've got...
Unlike something like Kingdra, you're not reliant on this rain because this thing is not going anywhere in one turn.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You've got Flip Turn. If you want to switch out, you've got a good move pool. You've got great typing, great stab for both types.
Yeah, I like
a few
it.
other moves around the edge.
Well. You've got body press now as well. This thing's 110 defense with body press.
I can see someone messing around with this Pokemon.
I think so. I think Mega Swampert's very, very, very solid.
Okay, so then Venusaur is a thick...
This is interesting because it's a tier 1.
Yeah.
I like Mega Venusaur, but what strikes me is it's almost a bit of a jack of all trades, and for a Mega Evolution, I'm not sure that's what you want. Like, it's good. It's very, very good. But that top tier of Megas, where you've got stuff like... We saw how something like Galley did last season, or how you've got Mega Kangaskhan now.
Yeah, you've got
the Latties.
The Latties.
Morwile, Medicham, Pinsir, Sableye, Mega Sizzle. Are you really going to pick this guy in the same tier?
Yeah, I think it's definitely on the weaker end of the tier 1 Megas, so we're going to put it... But it does have some value to it, so maybe... Yeah, we'll put it in the maybe tier.
It's a great anti-fairy Pokemon.
We'll put it here with Lilligant with another grass type.
Yeah.
Okay, so Melmetal, I'm pretty sure that someone has franchised this.
Someone has franchised this as we speak.
So this goes will be drafted.
I put it in will be drafted. You got to put it high up. It's. I know other people in our league, in Big Juice, have looked at using or have even used this in other leagues that they're playing in. So I'd be very surprised even if one of those people didn't pick it up if, say, got unfranchised by draft time.
Yeah, but like you've got that Iron Fist and
just Iron Fist, Punching Glove, double Iron Bash.
It's all you need.
That's
that attack and defense.
It's a high skill Pokemon. It's a high skill Pokemon, Melmetal. It takes a big IQ to use it.
Okay, moving on to Meloetta. Meloetta is an odd one. So,
Meloetta's... Yeah.
I assume we're just talking about the base form.
What,
I don't
Aria?
know. Yeah, I don't know if they are separated on here. But let's go into this. So you've got 100 HP, 128 special attack and defense, 90 speed, normal psychic type with Serene Grace.
I mean, I think my tiering for this changes depending on whether or not you can have it. I can't see the other form, the Pirouette form on here. I think I heard Plzsma say once you get both.
To be honest, I think you probably would get both.
I think let's tier it assuming we're getting both, and if we're wrong, well, no.
Okay, so Pirouette Meloetta, you're a fast physical attacker, but you're normal fighting.
True, but I mean, it's relics on it.
You got the Drain Punch. You've got the close combat. I think to be fair, for a tier 3, it's that kind of unpredictability factor. Your opponent has to guess which form you're going to try and play to.
Yeah, and it's got a very, very strong moveset for both special or physical coverage. Like, it may not have the... I mean, it's got the best of both stabs. You've got close combat and you've got psychic, but then you've also got dazzling gleam. You've got sword stance. There's just so many options here.
The problem is that you do have to use Relic Song to transform.
That's true, and that's wasting a slot.
Yeah, it's wasting a turn. So like other fast physical attackers could use that turn to set up.
Yeah,
but you're using it just to become that form. So I don't think many people will look at this.
So I
think
it's surprised. It's got good bulk and even if you just bring Aria form, it's nice. But
Yeah, I think Aria form is definitely the way to go with this, just because of wasting that time.
true, but I do suspect you're right in the end.
Okay, so Meg Camelot.
No. I think I almost put it in no one cares, but I think it goes bottom of air because someone might get it for funny. I think it's a very, 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 very minute chance someone picks it to be funny. That's it. That's all I can see.
Can we add a tier?
Comedy tier. No, I don't think anyone's picking this. I don't think anyone's picking Mega Camelot.
Funny.
I think you're picking Mega Camelot if it's funny too. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You're picking it for. You're picking it like last ditch for jokes. That's it. What, 20 base speed, and you get like, okay, it's bulky. You're quad weak to water and you're weak to ground. Like the two most
absolutely.
Now, you're just done.
Something that's a little less funny. Galarian Moltres.
Ooh, we saw regular Moltres do extremely well this season, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I think it's a great partner to a Pokemon like Hisui and Gudra, just because of the type matchups.
Indeed, and it's got a very strong 125 special defense.
Yeah, so this kind of takes the form of quite a few things, but so the Berserk ability, obviously, you get the special attack raise below half health. I think you've got a decent enough move pool. It's not quite, it's the sort of Mandibuzz typing. It's not quite as bulky as a Pokemon like Mandibuzz. But, you know,
does
125 special defense, 90 speed. I think you can run a multitude of sets with this, where you're going for more offensive or defensive. You've got U-turn, obviously that's a great move.
I mean, you could send this thing in, you could set up a Tailwind, you could try and nuke something with a Hurricane or a Fiery Wrath. If you go back, I think, one gen in the moveset, I think it should get Defog. Interestingly, it doesn't look like it does.
No, that's a little annoying for the sort of defensive sets. I will say you've got some other stuff. You've got Taunt, you've got Agility. You can try Ancient Power, chance it. It's definitely got a good amount of use to it. I think it's definitely like a top of maybe pick.
Yeah, the big thing is for me is it's in tier 2 and you're competing with a lot of things, let alone Mandibuzz directly with that.
Yeah, we're gonna put it at the top maybe. I think it's great.
No, Mandibuzz is tier 3. Mandibuzz is tier 3. That might push it down a bit for me, but
okay.
Oh no, you're a tier. I don't know. You're a tier above Mandibuzz, which does the same thing, but really better.
Oh yeah, you're right, aren't you?
So I think
down here with the other dark and flying type.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Definitely above Bombardier, but
yeah, it's definitely not a bad pick. But I mean, if you're picking this over Mandibuzz and you're using that tier 2 pick, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you're very true. Okay, so Knuckle stack.
Hate it.
Funny.
I mean, strong. No, it's a strong pick. It's got Eviolite, right, and you've got Salt Cure. It's a very good Pokemon.
Yeah, to be honest, like we've seen how good Garganacl is.
Exactly.
And you know, just the pairing of the ability where you can't status this thing. You can't poison it down. You can't burn it down. You have to.
Oh yeah.
You have to just fight it out. Obviously, you have to avoid knockoffs like Plague with this Pokemon.
True, but it's got a lot of the same strengths as Garg.
Yeah,
and you could get a good value on towering this as well.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good rock setter. There's definitely value in this. I'm going to put it as a...
I think a lot of people here watch, what's that guy, Pokémon D, and I think he quite likes it. So I think it'll get looked at for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if that's big.
Right, this
is getting drafted. We need to talk about this. This is getting drafted.
Yeah.
This thing is filthy.
This
thing has the greatest shiny of all the Ultra Beasts, I'll say that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Big blue bee. This thing's getting drafted.
Yeah,
Someone's
we'll put
picking
it-
this up.
Okay, Nidoqueen. Do we see Nidoking? I think Nidoking has appeared in a few seasons. by
King,
the
I
same
believe.
coach.
I believe Chase has drafted it 2 seasons back to back, if not all 3. I think he's had it all
It
3
might be all
seasons.
3, yeah.
But
Okay,
Nidoking's very good. Nidoqueen, it's just Nidoking at home.
yeah, exactly. So,
You know.
Nidoking is a tier 2, and Nidoqueen is
It's a tier 3.
So
it's literally, yeah.
It's not a terrible pick at all, but there is Nidoking out there if you want that. If you want what Nidoqueen does, but you won't be going wrong by picking Nidoqueen. So put it back there.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, Obstagoon.
I like Obstagoon, and he's in tier 3. He's in the same tier as Linoon.
Yeah, I
And
think they would do
I
different.
like-
They would do different
I know
things.
they're
Though. Obviously,
different
you've got
Yeah,
Defiant, Reckless, and Guts.
Guts is a great ability on this. It's got a good bulky typing, but you are quad weak to fighting.
Yes, that is the issue. But
That's the big thing.
obviously, if you're drafting Obstagoon, you just got to try and play around that. So it's definitely, I think, you're better off picking this over Linoon.
For sure. And this thing's got some strong moves. You've got Taunt, Double Edge, Counter. You've got some interesting picks. You've got all the elemental punches. You've got Giga Impact. I mean, you've got some other bits. You've got Cross Poison and Dig and Stomping Tantrum that are all good. It's a pretty solid, I'd say unremarkable, but it's pretty good. I think for tier 3.
For tier 3, middle of the road, like, why not?
Yeah, you could definitely do worse than it. I think, yeah, very sort of similar ballpark to my Boston, I'd say, actually. Even down to sort of what they're doing. Probably a bit worse, though.
Yeah, okay, so Persimmon, pure fighting type, 120 attack. You've got Defiant, a decent ability.
Have you ever used Persimmon?
No, I've never used
Neither.
this.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
The stats look pretty okay, to be honest. They don't look fantastic, but they look good. They look solid.
Yeah, I don't think
Is he normal fighting or just fighting? He's just fighting.
He's just
It's not
fighting.
bad. His moves look not bad either. Interestingly, he gets Electro Web. That's a weird one. Could lower some speed though. I mean, it's all right. He's
Yeah, you're not going to build it for that though with 80 speed.
no
and
true.
40
I mean, you're a
special
bit
attack. Like,
interestingly as well. He gets Gyrable, which you're again not going to build it for, but he's got Iron Head, I suppose. And then Work Up's not the worst setup move.
I think
But he
this,
gets Bulk Up,
I think
which
this
is better.
Pokemon's definitely made for double battles to go alongside.
True,
Yeah.
especially with the receiver. But I think in tier 4, you know, could you do worse? Probably, but could you do better? Also, probably. I mean, you've got Scrafty in that tier for 1. He's
Yeah.
definitely going to be.
Okay, so now let's go to a really good low tier value pick. I believe this is in tier 4. Pilswine. Pilswine is fantastic.
I am a Mama Swine enjoyer, but I'm not sure. You need to run Eviolite on this thing. It's a similar case to Knuckle Stack. You're going to have to avoid those knockoffs.
You are gonna have to, but you've got Oblivious, you've got Thick Fat, you still got 100 attack, you've got that ground and ice typing, 100 HP for a
Yeah, you're
not fully
getting
evolved.
some similar stuff to regular Mama Swine, but I think it's the same tier as Knuckle Stack. And while they may do slightly different things, you're gonna have to be weighing up. You know, if you're gonna go way of the Eviolite Pokemon, which one is better, really? I don't know. I feel like I pick Knuckle Stack over this. If I'm
Okay.
looking at.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I think I would as well.
I don't think it's bad though by any means, but I don't know. And then, you know, Gligar even a tier above that for EVO as well, because you only really want one.
Yeah. Okay, so Poltegeist.
I like this guy. He's a funny little guy.
I like this guy. It's funny, but it's actually good.
He is.
There's a great shell smash sweeper. You've got strength up. Get that health back.
Surprisingly good special bulk. You got 114 Spadef there. And base ghost is pretty good.
Yeah, like obviously Pursuit is around in this format, but you're still gonna get a lot out of this Pokemon. You've got, I'm pretty sure you get a decent amount of. What moves does it get again?
You've got all sorts. It's quite good. You get Giga Drain, which is a lovely
That was
move.
it, yeah. Giga Drain, you're getting your health back with that strength stat.
You can Willow Hex if you want to go that way.
Stored power. You know, you set off a Shell Smash. Obviously you got Shadow Ball, Psychic, and Psyshock.
You could even run Foul Play if you wanted to. A little bit of coverage for a physical attacker to go with strength stat. There's some good moves. It's a bit limited, but what it does, I think it does quite well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's near the top of maybe.
Yeah, I think for tier 3 is pretty good, pretty solid. I think
Now,
maybe lots of maybes today.
Porygon Z with Terra is at the least likely to go. So,
yeah, it is.
Adaptability with Terra. So either you stay normal and you go, you've got Hyper Beam or just maybe Tri Attack or something, or this thing has got amazing coverage.
I mean, you could even run download on it if you bring this thing in on what you know is on a physical wall. It'll run download plus your special attack by 1, then you can Terra.
Yeah, absolutely. 90 speed tier. You definitely you can scarf this. You could specs it. Put specs on this.
Porygon Z is nothing to scoff at, and tier 2, anything less would be a crime. I think this thing will definitely get looked at. I think it's even, as you've put,
this is definitely a likely to go Pokemon. I think we're gonna put it. Hello. You back? Sorry, I think I lost you for a sec.
I put it up. Certainly, mid to high of likely to go. This thing is now the Gen 9, as Plaz said, I think last week or something. Now that sort of Gen 9 recency bias is fading out a bit, and people look to some older classics, I think Porygon Z is definitely something.
We were talking last time about Exploud being a great, Terra normal option. This is better with adaptability, and just that amazing coverage. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous. Porygon Z is dangerous. Next up, we got Pyroar.
Pyroar is next.
Tier 4, normal fire.
So you've
Runs
got
109
a decent
speed
speed tier with Moxie. Except,
unfortunately, it's special attacker.
Yeah. So very, very confusing here. This feels like a very air Pokemon.
The move pool is
It's a very physical move pool.
Yeah, it's extremely physical move pool. You've got next to no special coverage. The only move I can see or think of is Dark Pulse.
I honestly cannot tell you why you would use this Pokemon. I don't think anyone will care about it. You're better off drafting Bramblegast or Copperajah.
Well, that's a big claim.
Than this.
That's a big claim.
Well, here's the thing. Bramblegast can't do too much, but at least it can rapid spin.
Sure, I mean,
Copperajah, at least it has some kind of physical bulk. It's a steel type. This has Moxie and a terrible attack stat, and a physical attacking move.
Pyroar's not confused. He's just a fire type with Rain Dance.
You're kidding me? No. Oh my god. Okay, on to a better Pokemon, Quaquaval.
Next, Quaquaval's fantastic.
Someone is taking Quaquaval.
I think top are likely to go. It's really, maybe not above. Yeah, maybe right there is good. I love Quaquaval. I used it in the RU ladder for a while. Incredible Pokemon. Really, really, really strong pick.
You want to talk about a Moxie Pokemon? This is a
Yeah, let's
Moxie
talk about
Pokemon.
Quaquaval. You want to talk about a Pokemon that gets Rain Dance? This is a Pokemon that gets Rain Dance.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Quaquaval, good 120 attack and a good 85 speed that's boosted by Aqua Step. It's a really nice user of Bulk Up. You can use Bulk Up to mitigate your close combats as well. It gets Liquidation and Wave Crash. It gets priority with Aqua Jet. It even gets some coverage. I don't know if you
I
really
think
want to use
like
Wing Attack.
Pokemon like this that can start to and continue to set up as they sweep is amazing. The fact that you can keep boosting your speed and your attack just by attacking makes this a fantastic choice.
It also, if you wanted to, you could go fully defense and run Sword Stance. This thing, you let this thing snowball, it's going to do some serious work, especially, even in Tier 2. You've got decent coverage. It's still got U-turn, so you can get out of there as well. It's got Ice Spinner, take out some popular dragons. I like Quaquaval.
Absolutely, it's
I like
a great
it a lot.
Hisuian Quillfish, I like the idea of it as a Tier 4. Maybe you want like a Toxic Spike.
There's a lot of Tier 4s who rely on Eviolite, aren't there?
Yeah, very true. But you've got Poison Point, you've got Intimidate.
I think the big
great
is
abilities.
And perhaps the Prankster immunity at Dark type. I mean, I could well be wrong, but I think Hisuian Quillfish for me falls in a very similar ballpark to Galarian Corsola, where it's this might sound like sacrilege to someone who enjoys it, but to me, maybe it's better on paper.
I have to disagree. I've used Galarian Corsola a few times. I do actually really enjoy that because you've got Eviolite and you've got Strength Sap as a recovery move on that. I think there is a good value in that. This I think is more of a spike setter than anything. You've got spikes, anti-spikes. I think that's going to be your main.
I guess it fulfills at least it does a set function, but just for me, I don't know. I think
and you've got that Barb Barrage. You've got that Barb Barrage as well. 50% chance to poison and double power if your opponent is poison.
As a start position. Okay, it's not bad. You can still get Stab Crunch.
I think there's a
or else you can Destiny Bond. I guess there's something for it here.
As a Tier 4 pick, I really like this.
I suppose it's definitely better than
I like it about here.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it's not too bad. Maybe you're selling me on it.
Okay, so Rabska is your second reviver.
Another Tier 4 pick. I kind of like Rabska. I tried using it. I don't have much luck. It's got good special attack and good special defense. And the typing is... You're maybe going to want to focus sash on it. You've got a lot of weakness.
I'm looking at his move pool. You've got Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, Energy Ball.
Oh, it's a good move.
Power
For some reason, this thing with 45 speed gets Electro Ball. Does Electro Ball work in Trick Room? So, like, if you're much faster in Trick Room, Electro Ball's power relatively goes up. Because then that could be quite good.
That is a very good question that I do not know the answer to. But I think you can do some stuff with this. Let's like Google about here. We're on Nidoqueen. Now Reuniclus. I like Reuniclus.
You know, I had a thought about Reuniclus the other day because I really like Reuniclus's design. I think he's got good stats. I think he's got good typing.
He got regenerated.
I just to know what tier he's in. He's in tier 2. No.
You don't like it for a tier 2 Pokemon?
I think if I'm picking a psychic type and I'm not picking a tier 1, I'm probably picking Espeon. I think Regenerator's good. I don't think its bulk is adequate without HP. I think it's pretty solid. And I like Magic Guard too.
I think it
But
might. It might be a good.
1.5.
Uh,
I'm not sure about that output, and I'm not sure about that move pool.
that's fair. It might be a good screen setter. I think.
I think
Like
maybe.
a toxic trick,
If you want
but Trick Room. This
Yeah,
is
no,
a
Trick Room
fantastic Trick Room Pokemon.
changes in Trick Room. If you build, if you build around it, build a Trick Room team, fair enough. Very good Pokemon.
Where do you want
But
to
I
put
think
it?
outside, I think middle of maybe. Middle of maybe. You need to build Trick Room around it. If you bring Trick Room, you should bring this. If you don't bring Trick Room, pick Espeon. Honestly, better move pool, better stats, arguably a better ability in Magic Bounce. Regenerator's not bad though. None of them are bad, but I think Magic Bounce does more, at least for me.
Okay, so what's the name of this next Pokemon? I can't.
I believe it was the first Pokemon ever designed, and it's come on. I think it's National Dex number 112.
Yeah, but
It's the drill Pokemon.
Does it have a name?
It's Rye something.
Rye something. Okay, so Rye something.
Yeah, Pokemon 112 here is not a bad option. Certainly with Eviolite too. I think it's
So
what's here is Rye.
if you know, if
Tier 4.
What'd you say was in tier 4?
Rye something.
Okay. If you know the name of this Pokemon, put it in the comments right now, because
we're a bit stuck.
We're a little bit stuck here. Okay, so you've got Lightning Rod. You've got great, like for not fully evolved Pokemon to have
Very good
130 attack and 120 defense with Eviolite.
The big thing, right? Grass Knot.
Yeah, the one thing is with
very quite a common coverage move that a lot of Pokemon got, and you got 45 special defense. You're heavy and you're quad
you've got
weak.
4 times weaknesses. Is the problem. Although,
type.
like, a lot of people do like Rhyperior. So
I like Rhyperior because he gets Solid Rock,
yeah. So
which means you don't have any weaknesses like on technicality. I think this thing's a maybe, but I think for as good as Pokemon number 112 is, I think he's unfortunately nowadays been outclassed by Knucklestack. I think personally, for a rock with an Eviolite.
I think so. If you're gonna put an Eviolite, which brings us from Pokemon 112, let us know in the comments, to the 3 Rotom forms that haven't been taken, which surprisingly are the 3 best Rotom forms you could argue.
I think the big thing is their tiers, perhaps. Although that said, I believe Heat and Mo, they're tier 3.
Heat tier 3 as well?
Heat and Mo are both tier 3.
Okay.
They all have the same base stats.
Okay, Heat is going down to tier 3. Puts it.
It's gotta be likely to go. Heat is
up here.
I think you might remember I used a Rotom Heat back when we played Gen 8 competitively.
I also did.
Brilliant.
Rotom Heat.
It's brilliant.
So Rotom Wash is undoubtedly the best Rotom form. But I believe it's still in tier 1. Am I right?
It is. I think tier 1's holding it back a little bit. Personally.
I think because like here's the thing. Like I picked Rotom Fan last season, and it came to every game after I drafted it, and the fact that I can get something with the same stats and ability and move pool as Rotom Wash, besides Hydro Pump, in tier 5, means that I have to put this at the top of maybe because it is so good. It's so good.
And
if we talk about who's actually going to take it, when you're looking at, if you want a bulky water in tier 1, Tapu Fini
is right there. It's right there, and it's got that fairy typing, which some might say is better, despite Rotom Wash only having 1 weakness.
Yeah, so I think in terms of on this tier list of likeliness to go and like value in draft league format, Rotom Heat in tier 3 is amazing. Rotom Mo
is I think Rotomo is good.
Rotomo has been tier 3 for a while. Where has that ended up?
Has he gone? Where's Rotomo gone? He's in middle maybe. You put him in the middle maybe. Between Hitmonlee and
I think
Flamingo.
Because
I think upper maybe. He's very strong.
It's going to be higher on the maybe. I put it about here. I think
that's fair. It's the same base stats, the same moves, but you get Leaf Storm, which is a nice. If you're worried about someone's water type, you pick this.
Yeah, exactly.
If you see someone with like a Dondozo or Rotom Wash, for example, you could pick Rotomo.
Yeah, for tier 3, this is a good grass type fit, and there are some great grass types in tier 3. But this is one of them because of the levitate, the electric type, and the move pool, and the bulk that it provides. So I think whichever Rotom you're gonna pick kind of just depends on the team you want to build.
True. They can fulfill a lot of roles, sort of jack of all trade stats.
Yeah, it's definitely something that just fills a gap in your team. Okay, so regular Samurott.
Unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. I wish they gave regular Samurott some kind of better hidden ability than Shell Armor.
Yeah, the big problem, I suppose the big problem is that attack.
Yeah,
but he's in tier 4. And could you do worse than Samurott? Sure, but
I think
in the same tier from
waters, you got Tatsugiri, you've got Vaporeon,
and you've got Inteleon, and you're gonna do better with any of those. I mean,
you're not
Tatsugiri, especially. Listen, as an enjoyer of the Sushimon, it's a great pick.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anyone really cares about Samurott in tier 4.
I think I put it in like it's balanced. Definitely got more going on than Pyroar.
Very true. Okay, very true. It will be.
I think it's got some alright coverage. Like, you've still got Ice Beam, you've still got Grass Knot, X is a Drill Run. I mean, push comes to shove, you've got Water Hyper Beam, you've got Hydro Cannon.
Yeah.
And interestingly, it's got Mega Horn, which I don't believe Hisuian Samurai actually gets. Oh, it does. Never mind. Yeah. Bottom of there.
Okay, so Sandy Shocks is an interesting one. So it's a Protosynthesis.
It's tier 3, is it?
Is it gone down? It was tier 2 last time, so it's moved down tier, which is definitely going to turn some heads on this.
Yeah, a lot of people on ladder liking Sandy Shocks too. With it's got a very comfortable speed and it's got that 121 special attack is quite reliable.
Yeah, I think it would be a great Pokemon to put, make use of Quark Drive and a choice item. So like,
I'll tell you what.
So like, max speed, Quark Drive, get that speed boost, run a choice specs on it. Just like Noah was running Iron Jugulus in a very similar way for a lot of last season, and that did pretty well.
You could run it really similarly, in fact, because you get something real similar in Zap Cannon to Hurricane, real similar. Maximum power.
Yes, I think this is quite likely to go.
Guaranteed paralysis if it hits. Strong. You got Earth power. Lots of good Steel type moves.
I think.
Other than that, fairly limited, but it's. I
think someone will probably be looking.
I think
at this.
Definitely be looked at. It's too solid. All the Paradox Pokemon are too solid unless your name is Iron Thorn.
Yeah. This next Pokemon, do you know that in Japan they love this Pokemon so much that there is a convention for this Pokemon?
You're joking. Pokemon 539.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be you put the name for it and.
I can't believe they got a convention for Swak.
Okay, that's not quite how I wanted that to go.
I wouldn't give you the satisfaction, but yeah, no. I mean, it's got 125 attack and good speed, and it's tier 4.
It's tier 4.
How about that?
You got Mold Breaker.
That's pretty good. You got Sturdy as well, which is nice. And it's got all the punches, which is always fantastic to have. And Poison Jab. You can answer fairy types. And Zen Head. You know what? It's got some good moves. It's got some pretty solid moves.
I mean, to contrast this, assuming looking at this list that Throw has been picked, or is just completely off the list. So Throw is a bit more of a bulkier, whereas this has got a much better attacking stat, much better speed tier.
True, but the thing is, 75 in both defenses and HP is still not terrible. But I think for tier 4, I don't think you're looking at offensive swing.
It's definitely an air Pokemon.
Yeah, I put it above Mega Pidgeot, given it almost hits just as hard, which just is a testament to how pathetic that Mega is. But
yeah, good.
You know,
wait.
539.
Oh, okay, no, this is regular Sceptile.
Draft. Yeah, I'm a regular Sceptile.
Mega Sceptile's got
another tier 4.
So regular Sceptile in tier 4, I think is a decent option. You've got Unburden. You've got a great speed tier plus Unburden.
Oh, you throw Unburden on this, you're running really, really fast. It's got some good moves as well as Sceptile.
I think it means you can afford to run Modest Nature.
Yeah, I'd agree actually. If you run Unburden specifically.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of physical moves here, but you've got Giga Drain for stab, you've got Energy Ball for stab, Focus Blast. I'm not seeing a whole lot of coverage.
No, I'm only seeing Dragon. You've got Dragon Pulse. You still do get hit by that's good. Energy Ball, Strong Stab, Dragon Pulse is nice to have. You could run Normal Gen Quick Attack to proc down Burden as quickly as possible.
I think if you're wanting something like this, you're probably better off running getting the Mega Form.
But if you're stuck, it's not bad.
It's certainly not bad. We'll put it about here.
Yeah.
Okay, Scolipede. I quite like Scolipede.
Me too. What tier is it?
So you're a Poison Point or Speed Booster.
I think you've got to go Speed Boost, surely.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to Speed Boost, you're going to Adamant Nature this. You could Toxic Spikes with it. Or Spikes.
True. The big thing is it's in tier 2, and I get a lot of Titan from this thing's stats. The speed is good. Honestly, with Speed Boost, the speed is fantastic. But that 100 attack...
Okay, yeah, I didn't know this was tier 2.
That to me is the same thing as Titan. You don't have the output.
I do not like this as a tier 2.
You just don't have. You're fast, but to me, you don't have the output. I put bottom maybe. You just don't have the output for that tip to justify tier 2. No, as good as Speed Boost is, you don't hit hard enough.
No, if this was tier 3, I would start thinking about it. No way.
Oh
tier
yeah.
2.
This is bugs to Titan for me. It's the same thing. You run Titan in a Slush Rush, you've got a Pokemon with actually comparable speed to this thing after a boost. Similar issue to Titan. Not enough coverage on its moves and not enough output to justify the high tier.
Okay, so Scovillain is our first Grass and Fire type. You've got 108 physical and special attack.
And I think, is it 104 speed?
No, it's 75. But it gets Chlorophyll.
That's Chlorophyll.
It either gets Chlorophyll or Moody.
Oh, I think Moody's banned, isn't it? Or is that incompetitive? Are we allow Moody in this?
I don't know. If Moody's allowed, then the problem is it's very for low speed tier like that. Unless you're in the sun, it's very frail. So you're only running this on a sun team.
I think,
which makes very.
I think you're right. I think it depends. How much you look at this truly just depends on what you're drafting.
Yeah, I think it's an air because especially that damage output is not amazing.
I can't see anything written about Moody in the rules.
Oh, okay.
But even so, I mean,
Its
that speed in
coverage
that
its
role.
coverage isn't amazing, especially if you're gonna have to run the physical set, get Stomping Tantrum on there and Trailblaze. It's probably your best option. Zen Headbutt.
And you got Seed Bomb.
Yeah, you get that as well. And Fire Fang. On the special side, you
Matter of
only
fact-
really get sort of Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Flamethrower. You don't get any coverage on the special side.
As a matter of fact, you do get you could run this thing loaded dice and Bullet Seed. And if you were a real funny guy, you could gamble with Spicy Extract, but I don't know why you do that. I think Air is fine. I'm not super in love with it.
Okay, so Sharpedo. So I really like Water Dark types. I think that's a great offensive type. And this Pokemon has got a decent amount of.
I think this is a much better user of Speed Boost than Scolipede, and I think it's funny that this is in Tier 3 and Scolipede's in Tier 2.
Yeah, very good analysis.
This thing's got much better attack. It's a much better type. It's a great user of Speed Boost. We saw how well Speed Boost worked for Mega Sharpedo last season. And I think we could see similar results with someone if they picked up this
I think
thing.
so. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the likely tier.
I think that's fair. I think this is a much, much better user of Speed Boost than something like Scolipede. And I think for Tier 3 as well, it's much better value. Very good value, even.
Yeah, okay, so next we have Surfetched.
Surfetched is... he's Tier 4.
So all you really have on this Pokemon
look at it.
is... So what you do have with this Pokemon is Scrappy. And 135 attack.
A very big attack stat.
But you're not fast. And you're relatively frail. So I think maybe a Scrappy is just a good ability, so I might put it next to Flamingo.
You can run Stick on this thing and up its crit rate, and it does get some good moves. What's notable here, despite its speed, it does get First Impression. That attack stat.
Yeah, that's very good.
You can run First Impression Band. You could run First Impression with the Leak. The Leak for Surfetched and Farfetch'd ups their crit rate.
Yeah.
Like that's something you get. You could do First Impression, Final Gambit. It also has a signature move, Meteor Assault, which is like physical fighting type Hyper Beam. But I don't think you'd use that over close combat.
That's fair enough. I'm gonna put it here with Flamingo, the other Scrappy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'd say it's interesting because it gets similar moves to Flamingo, but I think it depends what you want because this thing just hits a lot harder. But they're both very similar.
Yeah. I'll do that for now. I think Flamingo will be drafted more likely, I think, because it's Gen 9. Okay, so then we have what unfortunately has been reduced to Corviknight at home, Skarmory.
I don't know. I think they, despite how similar they are, I think they both fulfill different roles. I think Skarmory, you're bringing this out, you're setting hazards. You're setting spikes.
That's very true. What tier is Skarmory?
Skarmory, I believe, is Tier 2. But
I still think...
Skarmory is now tier...
I think it's a bottom of likely to go.
2.
It's still a great Pokemon. It's not Corviknight. Obviously.
He's still got it.
But...
He's still got Sturdy, notably.
Yeah, exactly. Like, God, remember when Skarmbliss was a thing?
Oh,
those were the days.
Nah, this thing comes out. You throw out spikes. You throw out Stealth Rock. You know, if you want to, you can harass your opponent. You got Torment. You got Defog. It's a very good defogger.
Oh, what I do?
What have you done there?
What have I done? Okay.
Have you broken it?
No.
We back?
False alarm. We're back.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's a Skarmory. I like it. I think
I'm
Corviknight at home. If you get sniped for
Sharpedo.
Corviknight, people will look at it. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, Galarian Slowking. How
Someone's
has
getting
no
this.
one taken this?
Someone's getting this.
Chili
I think.
Reception.
only one of the Slowbros or Slowkings to be in Tier 1, and probably rightly so, actually.
It's
Reception
absolutely
Shell.
rightly so that this is in Tier 1.
We saw that despite being on a not great team last season, I think Slowking did pretty well. So, how this thing fares, I think it can only be
so
better.
let me tell you why this is going to be amazing. Whoever drafted it. So obviously you've got that 95 HP 110 special defense regenerator. You've got chilly reception, and you've just got a fantastic move pool as well. You've got decent typing. You're gonna pivot other things in nice and safely, and then get HP back with regenerator.
Yeah.
You got great coverage. It's gonna be a great assault vest Pokemon. If you don't want to run the sort of chilly reception sets, I think it's very versatile.
I agree 100%. It's just Slowking but better, honestly. It's just Slowking but better. You've got a bit of better output, especially in exchange for the physical attack. The bulk remains the same. The abilities remain the same. The move pool is similar. I think it's brilliant, and I think you could. Oh, it's just I love it.
I could maybe move it down to here. Only reason
I think on account of it being Tier 1, yeah.
Only because Slowking being in Tier 3, doing the same kind of chilly reception move. But 2 tiers.
Oh yeah, he is
lower.
still Tier 3.
And I think it kind of depends on what you want to pair it with, as well. In terms of type matchups, like the water type it's got a lot of defensive value to it as well.
Well, the big thing, right, is Slowking has more resists than Galar Slowking, but it also has more weaknesses. It also doesn't have a single quad resist. Galarian Slowking is going to be slightly better into fighting types, both are going to be fine. And it's better into grass or electric, but otherwise you're probably similar.
It's definitely a bit of a mixed match up. Okay, so then Slurpluff.
Huh? I forgot Slurpuff exists.
Yeah, why? What is this?
It's not. I'm gonna have to search. I can't see it on the list. It's in Tier 3, so let's have a look.
Let's figure out what.
I remember this thing being pretty strong on its debut in Gen 6, but I guess Unburden is what people are doing with it, because otherwise it's Sweet Veil, which just prevents Pokemon from falling asleep, and these stats are very mid.
I think this is kind of like Cotton Guard, Draining Kiss, or like
with
a
Unburden,
perhaps. Or a Wish.
I think with Unburden, this is nice. Notably, it does get webs. That's probably why it's where it is.
That's quite interesting.
This thing with webs and Unburden is probably why it is where it is. I guess it gets Play Rough.
I think
it's honestly, I'm not blown away. I think for Tier 3, I'm not sure. I think this is maybe some Gen 6, 7 only bias here.
You've got a lot of good webbers in Tier 3.
I mean, even if you go down a tier, if you sacrifice the webs, you've got Dash Spun, which is better.
I don't think anyone cares about this.
I think anyone cares. I'm shocked this is still in Tier 3. This must be an oversight.
Okay, so then we've got
Sneasel
and Hisuian Sneasel. Let's talk about these two together.
I've always found Sneasel overrated, but the fact is those stats are decent. 95 attack and 115 speed. The speed is good. The attack is perhaps nowadays a bit lacking. I think what tier are these guys in is a big.
I think they're Tier 4.
Yeah, they're both in Tier 4. See, you can go down one tier. You pick up Scyther.
Yeah.
Scyther's similar speed tier, better output, better moves, better bulk for Eviolite.
I think these are very air. I think there is value to them, but they're very air. Like, these are fast attacking Pokemon. You're not going to be running Eviolite on these.
No, that's true. But I also think the problem is either of these things get hit with a priority move. Like you hit Sneasel with Mark Punch. See you later. You hit Hisuian Sneasel. You hit it with Psychic doesn't have a move, but you just hit with a Psychic move. It's done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got not quite enough damage output, and not near enough bulk.
No. And the big thing is, despite Hisui and Sneasel's decent stats, it doesn't get something like Dire Claw to help it out, which I think it would really warrant. It also doesn't get a Poison Touch. It gets Pickpocket, which could be interesting. You know, you can run Pickpocket on this thing. Could be interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
I think quick attack item is Pickpocket, but if you're doing that, you're running quick attack, and if you're not killing something, it's killing you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think
okay, so next up, Snorlax.
This thing's not been drafted.
It has not.
In tier 3? Likely. Surely. But people, do we need to explain Snorlax? It's fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
It's Snorlax, one of the greatest Pokemon to do it. You've got immunity, you've got thick fat, you've got Gluttony's not great, but immunity and thick fat are two incredible abilities. 160 HP, 110 attack, 110 special defense. This is the special Dondozo. I mean, I can't believe I say it that way around. This is, Dondozo is the physical Snorlax. Yeah. Really.
So where
this,
am I?
This thing's been there and done it.
Where am I?
Mid to high likely, surely, right?
Middle.
Like you've got all sorts. You've got Earthquake. For physical, you've got Focus Punch. If you want to somehow try running that, I don't know. I mean, Power Up Punch, Body Slam, Stab, High Horsepower, Hammer Arm, Belly Drum, Giga Impact, Metronome. If you're funny, you can recycle your berry. Rest Talk. Snorlax has got it all, man. This is just
absolutely.
ESP stats. Like, you've got all 3 elemental punches. You've got Mega Punch. You've got Mega Kick. You've got Stockpiles. You've got Yawn. You've got Heavy Slam. This thing's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So next up we have what has been an Uber previously. It's an odd Pokemon. So Spectria. You've got amazing speed, amazing special attack, amazing offensive typing. What you don't have with it is coverage, but
you also don't have much bulk.
There's also this little thing called Terra.
True. I think
if you...
this is Fluttermane at home.
Huh?
I think this is Fluttermane at home.
This could be a Fluttermane at home. You could definitely, if you went Terra Ghost Fairy, I think you probably would get quite a lot out of this. You have to watch out.
It does get Draining Kiss.
Pardon?
It does get Draining Kiss. So
it does. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It gets Draining Kiss. Gen 9.
I don't think it's a absolutely 100%.
No.
But I think we're gonna.
I think it's upper likely.
It's definitely likely that someone's going to be looking at this.
Yeah, I mean, 145 special attack, 130 speed, as you outlined. Nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
Two immunity as well to common types.
Okay, so
and Grimnay, can't forget.
Stack Attacker. A Rock Steel, which is not a good typing for a defensive Pokemon.
This is like the Gucci Bastiodon. 211 defense. I think if you're bringing something this bulky, this thing's a tier. What tier is this
3.
thing? 3 with that defense. I mean, like, that should probably tell you all you need to know. The fact it's down there. I think this is solid, but I think if you're bringing something this defensive, you've got Mega Aggron, right?
Yeah, you've got Mega Aggron. You've even got Mega Steelix.
Yeah, I mean,
should we just put this in funny?
No, I don't think it's that bad. I think the top of air. I think the big thing for me is, I can't. My head's just gone. There was something I was just about to say is so much better, but it's gone from my head. I feel like an idiot. Yeah, Celesteela is a better defensive Ultra Beast than this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got Celesteela right up there.
So I think you go Celesteela or one of the Megas.
If this guy had some sort of recovery, and you just sort of steamrolled and got sort of beast boosts up.
Yeah. It would be bad, but
the only problem is, like, you wouldn't beast boost your attack. Like, max adamant nature attack comes nowhere close to matching.
There is one
defense.
thing. This thing does get body press.
That's
You run a trick room with this, and you put body press on it, and suddenly you're not laughing anymore.
yeah.
But
Okay.
But if that's something that your team has an option of, people are going to be ready for it.
Okay.
And I think with your quad weakness to fighting, I don't think you're getting very far. 2 quad weaknesses, you're not getting very far.
Yeah. So then we got the Guts Bird Swallow, 125 speed, Guts, Sard.
And it's tier 3,
Yeah.
which is not bad.
I think
tier
it's,
as our
it's one of those Pokemon, like say Linoon or Mousehold. It's got a good niche. It does it very well, but you know exactly what it's gonna be when you bring it up.
Oh yeah. I think it's not bad, but it's
which in a format where you have to prepare. Also, I think it's better than Linoon.
Oh, definitely, because you've got Scrappy too.
Oh yeah, you do. I did not know that.
But I still think maybe.
Yeah.
And there are better uses.
Okay, Sylveon. How is no one taking Sylveon?
Sylveon is a very, very, very nice tier. I've lost it.
2.
You know what? I like it.
I really like Sylveon. I'm putting it in likely, maybe just below Snorlax.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Pixie Hyper Voice. You're going to bypass substitutes. It's very good. You can wish, and I don't know if you teleport, but you got Baton Pass, I think, as long as you're not passing these stat boosts. Yeah, you could baton pass a sub, for example.
Yeah,
I don't know if it can do that.
Or a wish.
If it can do that, you could baton pass a wish. I like Sylveon. I think, and Fairy is very good, and it's a decent. Got its stats here. I think it's a decent speed here.
I think it's good enough.
Yeah,
it's good enough in its.
Okay, you can
in its
almost
special
run it
attack and defense that you can go more offensive on it if you want.
I think you run this, max HP, max special attack perhaps, and that special defense and its typing will carry you the rest of the way.
Yeah, or like a max HP, max defense. Just make yourself a little bit more bulky.
Yeah, because that pixelate boosted hyper voice is going to put in some serious work.
Yeah. So then we got Tangrowth. I think Tangrowth is gonna.
I think Tangrowth's gonna go. I think Tangrowth is brilliant. He's a tier 2, but he's just incredible.
Tier 2 with Regenerator. Again, you could Terra this. You could make it, say, like a Steel type, a much more defensive typing.
This thing, Terra Steel or Terra Fairy, is nuts.
Absolutely.
You make this thing something that's weak to something that's like, I don't know, but it's got a lot of good moves.
Maybe a Terra Water actually, because Terra Steel you're still weak to fire.
I suppose.
Terra Water.
I suppose Terra Water. If you're weak to grass, you've got Sludge Bomb and you've got Bulldoze that cover you for either type. I guess nice, and it's got Leech Seed. This bulk, and you've got Ingrain, and imagine you just slap leftovers, Ingrain, and Leech Seed.
Yeah, absolutely on this.
It's not dying. I love it. It's just not dying.
Tapu Bulu. Speaking of types in tier 2.
Yeah, speaking of the worst Tapu, I think if you're setting grassy terrain, you're running Rillaboom.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's much here for a tier 2.
For a tier
You're not running this for its grass type, and you're certainly not running it for its fairy typing. I think,
it's an
It's really not great.
But Tapu Lele.
Well, that's being drafted.
This thing is going.
We all know who's getting Tapu Lele.
No comment. No, so Tapu Lele, you've got. So let's get it up. So you
got a very good 95 speed.
Yeah, 95 speed, 130 special attack, Psychic Fairy. You've got great coverage. You've got enough bulk that you could run a Calm Mindset. You could go quite bulky. You've got Draining Kiss. So Draining Kiss leftovers Calm Mind is an option. Obviously, you've got Psychic Terrain that stops whatchamacallit's priority moves.
was gonna say it's arguably the best terrain. Arguably.
You've got Psyshock to hit all the special balls. You've got Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball. You've got Hidden Power. This thing is going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. We're quite a way through now.
We're nearly there. Tauros.
Tauros is... This is an interesting one, right? Because Tauros itself is tier 4. But I would argue its Paldean forms are better, and they're in tier 5. All 3 of them. And when I spoke to Plzsma about this last season, all 3 Tauros forms for the Paldean one count as just a Paldean pick.
So
but I'm going to actually double check that one.
You get all 3 forms for one draft.
If I recall correctly, I'm just going to double check. Let me move the Fancy Tauros Aqua Blaze jump to message. I know, you have to state which Paldean you want. That's my mistake.
Even so, like,
you're not picking this. You're not picking this thing in tier 4 when they're in tier 5. No chance.
No, I'm sorry.
No chance.
Well, I'm sorry, Tauros.
Not happening.
Like the king of tier Gen 1 OU.
Yeah, Gen 1. Yeah, like, but you're not picking this in tier 4 with the other forms in tier 5.
Oh, you know what? Something Plaz actually forgot to mention. There's 2 Pokemon on this list that actually have been drafted. One of them is a Alolan Marowak.
Oh.
Might as well keep it there, actually.
Even very well, who cares?
The other is Thundurus Therian. So I'm gonna.
That's Incarnate. Oh, yeah, it's Therian. Yeah,
so
I like. That's the one I've used.
Thundurus.
I've not used Incarnate.
Is a VGC Titan. Prankster Thunderwave is amazing.
True.
I can definitely see someone picking this.
I would be surprised if they didn't, but I also wouldn't, in a way. It's very, very strong. It's probably it's like the strongest, if you like, Prankster user in terms of the output it can have offensively. You've got Wild Bolt Storm or Discharge or Thunderbolt. I mean, you've got Volt Switch. You can set weathers with it. It's got good enough attack that you could even run it mixed. You've got Smart Strike, Brick Bait, Break, Zen Headbutt. You can go U-turn or Foul Play. There's some good options here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot you can do with it. It's like Tornadus Incarnate as well as Prankster.
Yeah.
And we saw that too. So Typhlosion Hisui.
It's bad. It's not good.
See,
truthfully, I mean, what tier is he? That's a big.
I don't know if
tier 4.
I don't know if I agree with that. I quite like this.
It's tier 4, which isn't too bad. I like
a tier 4. Okay, Frisk, it's not the best ability, but actually, in this format, you switch in, you start finding out what your opponent's sets are based on their items. That
big thing for me is you lose 5 speed over regular Typhlosion, and you lose some HP. You're squishier, and you're slower, and you're a more frail type. Okay, granted, you get 2 immunities. You also gain weaknesses to Psychic and Dark.
True, but what you do get is Infernal Parade.
Worse Hex.
Is it though? Because if your opponent's not already status, then you get the chance to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still weak. It's still weaker than Hex.
Only by 5, I think.
Yeah, but I don't like it. It's 30% to burn.
I think it plays a similar role as like a Chandelure at home. I think
maybe
if you built around this, you had a lot of stats on your team, and you scarfed this at the end of the game, came in and clicked Infernal Parade a load of status Pokemon, you're gonna have a good time with it.
Maybe it's just the fact that I'm not a big Hex enthusiast in general. I'd rather just if I'm clicking like specs things with this, I'd rather just click Shadow Ball with a Heat.
That's fair. We'll put it at the bottom.
I think for tier 4 you could do worse, but you could also definitely do better. I think regular Typhlosion with Eruption does better for me.
Okay,
because
this guy at the bottom maybe then. Now
this Tinglu drafted
is getting drafted.
Not to be drafted. Tinglu, you click Fisher.
Yeah.
But if you're playing singles,
But if you're playing
well,
singles, you're one of the best hazard setters in the game.
oh yeah,
With
without
spikes,
question.
rocks,
Like
whirlwind.
this thing, it's very similar to Wo-Shen, which we'll get to, but its ability obviously taking advantage of the fact it's got a slightly weaker special defense by lowering the special attack, which is forcing people to run physical attackers, and it's got better defense. And a mad HP stat. This thing's also got Taunt. You can set the hazards, you can Whirlwind. You can run Earthquake if you want.
You can body
Stomp
press.
Yeah, I mean, you can Heavy Slam. You could Stone Edge for some nice coverage. Like, Ting Lu, you almost... It's one or two things it does. Or two or three even. And it does them very, 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 very well.
You always want, in your draft, you always want a very good ground type. And this is a very good ground type.
Doesn't get much better.
Actually, I'm going to move this way up.
Yeah, because with 1-turn attack as well, you're getting some big knockout power. I'd say it's better than Club. I'd say, yeah, better. Maybe.
That's definitely.
But it's certainly high.
Okay, Tornadus Therian. I think
you've used this before, haven't you?
I have used this, and it is amazing. You can go offensive, you can go specially offensive, physically offensive, or you can go utility. Utility, Tornadus Therian, you've got Defog, U-turn, knockoff, taunt, icy wind is amazing, as well as tailwind. There's so many options with this. Obviously, regenerated boots is what you're running a lot of the time. You can run choice specs as well. Works very well. I have to put this near the top.
For sure, it's a real strong pick. I like it a lot, and I think you did so well with it in WBC. I'd be foolish not to agree with you.
Okay, Toxic Rogue.
It's better It's better Hisuian Sneasler for the tier it's in. That's probably the best I can say about
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely gonna pick up over this.
About it. It goes above it in air to maybe the bottom of maybe.
Okay.
But it's you get the water immunity with dry skin, and you get a surprising move pool, and that's kind of it. Like it's good. It's nothing special though. It's quite weak.
Yeah, that's fair. So then we have Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum's got Strong Jaw and Rockhead, Rock Dragon. What would you call it? I'm assuming it's Head Smash. Yeah. So Rockhead Head Smash. 71 speed is a little bit of an issue on it if you take any special attacks, but otherwise you're probably gonna run maybe like a choice band set on this and just really get the most out of that head smash.
Yeah, very similar to what you're gonna do with a lot of head smashes, for example, like Hisuian Arcanine. I think you're just gonna take it and try and run it through as much as possible.
Yeah, it's not going to do quite as well as Hisuian Arcanine.
No.
I think you can get something out of it.
It's not bad, but there are definitely more... The other thing I mentioned is there are more versatile picks in its tier.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got both the Urshifus. So, wait, this is the single one, right? The one I'm moving around. I'm pretty sure. Single Strike.
Yeah, you could almost put that. If King Gambit hadn't already been drafted, I'd put it at the top. I can't believe this thing got allowed, and I'm pretty sure I might have voted for it by accident at this point. But it is outrageous.
I voted against bringing this back. This thing is ridiculous.
It's a joke. I think I did, but I think if I did, it was by accident. Because this thing, 130 attack, you go through protect, you get always crit. It's a joke.
Yeah. But here it is. Get used to it. Now,
true.
Rapid Strike is a Pokemon that you've used.
I have used that in the Wacky Funny League. I really liked Rapid Strike. I like it a lot. Same stat distribution as Single Strike. Slightly worse typing, but same ability. And now we have Punching Glove. I quite like it. I like it a lot. I think high and likely to go. I think with Single Strike probably going, it will draw focus to Rapid. I think just by proxy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it below Quack Quaffle. I think for a water fighting type, you might want to look at Quack Quaffle as well.
Yeah, I think they're similar, but I think
in the lower tier.
I think if Quack Quaffle is very much this thing at home, but I mean, you cannot note how good Surging Strikes is, and then you've still got Ironhead Close Combat. You've still got the Priority Aqua Jet. You get Trailblaze on this thing now. You get Zen Headbutt, and it's still got U-Turn. A lot of people forget that these things both have U-Turn.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so Vanillux is up next. Funny.
Yeah, it's tier 4. Who cares? You pick it because it's a funny ice cream.
Okay.
That's about it.
Veluza is so disappointing.
3, right? Yeah, I agree. I think we've seen a few people sort of try to talk up Veluza.
Like,
I'm not convinced.
It's not got. Its attack isn't as good as Hisuian Samurott for a sharpness user.
No.
Its speed tier is terrible.
No. I think if you want a physical water type, you drop a tier and pick up Samurott.
Yeah. No one cares about Veluza.
I think that's all it's got to be said. People will try and defend it with Fillet Away. You lose half your health for it. It's not it.
Yeah, it's no good. So then Venomoth.
I'm shocked this thing's in tier 3 purely off of Tinted Lens, because it is woefully underpowered. Like the 90 special attack and 90 speed, like, okay, yeah, you get Tinted Lens. You're not hitting anything all that hard with this, even so. Like, I mean, I guess it's good for dealing with fairy types, but it's
Yeah, this is a very
I mean, it's I guess it gets Quiver Dance too, which is a very good move. I probably, honestly, maybe the bottom of, maybe higher up on air, just because it gets Quiver Dance and has Tinted Lens. The problem is, if you use Quiver Dance with this thing, it's dead. 60 defense, 70 HP, and 75 special defense is fine.
No,
except you're a bug type, and you don't have Levitate, so you're still getting hit by ground. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, it's just. I'm gonna keep it there. Virizion.
Virizion, good.
Maybe people are gonna look at Virizion because of Iron Leaves. So
I think a similar thing.
At least gonna put it in the maybe tier.
It's tier 3. It's not bad.
It's a decent grass type. It's got good speed tier. Its bulk is okay. It's not the best defensive typing. You got that 4 times flying weakness. What it does lack a little bit of power. I think it's base 95 attack.
90 attack.
90 attack. Yeah, exactly. So it lacks a bit of power, but it's got enough coverage to hit a few things and a good speed tier. So it's going to be sort of. It's got better coverage.
You can certainly do worse.
I think we're going to put it about here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You could do worse than it, but you could also certainly do better.
Yeah, so then Vivillon.
Now here we go. Vivillon is in tier 4. Now, you want to talk about a Quiver Dance user that's criminally underpowered and in a lower tier? You want to talk about Masquerain, but this thing's not bad either.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's not great, but
Masquerain also gets Sticky Web.
Yeah, I don't know where Masquerain is. I'm gonna have to look. I think maybe it's in
this does
not. No, I'm gonna have to look where Masquerain is. I feel like it's not on the list. So Masquerain's tier 5. So the fact this thing's in tier 4. Yeah, Masquerain I can't see on the list, so it must be in tier 4.
alert.
So that's for Vivillon. No one cares. I was gonna give it something, honestly, because you get Compound Eyes and Sleep Powder, but the fact it's in tier 4 and Masquerade's in tier 5, forget it. You'll just drop Masquerade. You get Intimidate.
Now for
You get
something,
Quiver Dance. It's better.
now for
Forget
something
it.
that is gonna get drafted.
Oh yeah, this is going.
Volcarona.
Especially with how well its Paradox forms did. I'm genuinely staggered this hasn't been drafted yet.
Yeah,
I love Volcarona.
Like Slitherwing has been franchised. Iron Moth is on the market, but look at how that did.
Oh yeah.
For me last time.
I mean,
people are
if you-
looking at Volcarona is getting near the top of the OU.
It's gotta get picked. Yeah,
usage,
I mean,
so-
I've used it myself on the OU ladder. You run Terror Ground on this. You run Quiver Dance, Fiery Dance, Bug Buzz, and Terror Blast, and you run Terror Ground. Goodbye. But you can also run Boots, like if you want. They're prevalent in OU, but this thing in OU, it's sort of the big sweeper of a lot of ladder teams that it's on, and for good reason. Volcarona may be the best Pokemon to come out of Gen 5.
Certainly with Terra. Now another one that's absolutely going to get drafted
Oh yeah,
is Walking Wake.
Walking Wake is going.
And as soon as someone drafts this, everyone needs to pick up Torkoal.
True.
Because
You can't let it get.
if someone is allowed to pick up this and Torkoal, then the league is in trouble.
True. You could also do with a fairy type if someone gets this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone's going to want a good fairy type to counter this. But even so, Hydro Steam is going to...
Hydro Steam very strong.
You're going to have to get Tapu Fini.
Interesting thing with Hydro Steam is I suppose the damage is the same as Scald if you can get them outside of sunlight.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely have like Tapu Fini will hard check this.
Yeah.
Or one or two others, but
Like, it's not broken, you've got answers, but it's very strong. And I'd be very surprised, given it's brand new, someone's going to be looking at it, surely.
yeah. Okay, so Weavile's up next. Weavile, I think... so Chen Power's just been banned.
Chempeo's gone,
So I
yeah.
think
Weavile is tier 2.
Weavile stonks are going up.
Yeah, I think and because this is draft, don't forget you've still got triple axle, you've still got knockoff. It's not been nerfed as such. It's Weavile could be cooking this season. He could be.
Weavile is as good as it
I'm not
was
sure he'll get picked,
in Gen.
but I think it'll be slept on. Weavile is very much still 120 attack, still 125 speed. You've got Terra now if you want to use that. You could make this thing a steel or a fighting type or something. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
So
sleep with it.
then,
Oh, this thing's on.
then we've got regular Weezing.
This thing's tier 4. The big thing for me is I think this would be higher, but it has to have Levitate, doesn't it?
I think so.
Which means you're not immune. Yeah. You can have neutralizing gas now. I was say you don't need Levitate anymore. Because
That is interesting. I mean, Levitate's good for it.
Yeah, the only thing is I'm thinking of how many people run poison, toxic spikes. But if you can run it grounded with neutralizing gas,
That's very true.
Suddenly-
They'll start picking up those.
suddenly that's not bad. If you need a grounded poison type, you could do worse than Weezing. It's bulky.
Yeah, let's put it in the maybe. Let's put it in the maybe.
Not bad if
tier.
nothing else. You've got Destiny Bond. Yeah, I think the middle of maybe. I think you could do better, but if you're running out, if it's late on in the draft and you realize you've not got an answer to toxic spikes, you could definitely do worse than Weezing.
Okay, now Wuqian.
I think he's getting drafted, or very close to it.
I think
I love this thing.
no, I
as
think
well.
it will get drafted. People,
You know what, I think
people,
you're right.
people have seen the light with Wuqian now.
True. I mean, this thing's a great user of Terra as well.
Yeah,
Do you run this thing on Terra
like
Poison?
tablets are
Ooh.
ruin. Obviously lowering the attack like the others, but Wuqian has a better defense stat than Tinglu's special defense.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at earlier when we were looking at Ting Lu. Is this thing is arguably better at taking hits. Unlike Ting Lu, it's got recovery. You've got Giga Drain. You've got Leech Seed. You've got, you can protect Leech Seed. You can run leftovers on it too.
Yeah, this
It gets
as a
rest.
As a
You've
defensive
got a lot of
as a
options.
defensive Terra captain, this will be deadly.
Honestly, I've run this in I can't believe this is a UU in Gen 9, but power creep is what it is. This thing in UU is just not dying. So I imagine in draft it's going to be even harder because not everything's going to be at that power level.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to wall a lot, especially if you make this thing Terra Poison. There's very, very, very little that's killing it because you don't want to switch a ground type in case you get Giga Drained.
Absolutely, yeah. So 2 more Pokemon. Charizard Y. Now, this is an odd one. So, great special attack. Drought is obviously valuable now with all the Pokemons running about. But Fire Flying type, and you can't run Boots on it.
Yeah, you are going to go down to the 2 rock.
It's a very high risk, high reward Pokemon.
Big true, it's a real double-edged sword. I think
So I don't.
if rocks weren't as prevalent as they were with things like Glim or like just in general play anyway, I think it'd be a lot higher. But I think because they're so prevalent,
I think I have to put it towards the higher end of the maybe tier just because of what it could do. But there's definitely a lot of downsides to it.
I think that's fair.
You've really got to plan your team out. You've really got to get the best spinners, defoggers, keep hazards off your side at all costs. Otherwise,
what you could really do with Charizard Y, you could really do with an Espeon or a Hatterene.
Yeah,
A really
and
solid
using,
magic.
Using your tier 1 mega slot and something like that you really have to do
Play
damage
around like
control
that.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I'm not
the
sure.
last Pokemon, Hisuian Zoroark.
This guy is a tier 2.
I think it's quite likely. People have been
I think
using
it's
this.
I think it's a good look. I think people might pick it just for the design. Honestly, this thing is amazing looking, and the shiny is probably in Showdown by this point, or certainly it probably will. Maybe by the time the season starts. But I mean, it's what it's. You've got Illusion. You've got 3 immunities.
Yeah, you got one of the best typings in the game. You got great move pool. You got Illusion.
You've got a very strong 120 special attack and a good 105 speed. And you've got that Bitter Malice. 75
Absolutely,
base power. Mafe. I don't know if it still freezes as of Scarlet and Violet.
No, I think it lowers a stat. Hold on.
I think they completely changed it for Gen 9, unfortunately.
Yeah, 100% chance lowers the target's attack by 1.
But that's still pretty good.
Oh yeah.
That's still pretty good.
And
So it's more powerful than it was in Arceus, but it's
so that is the list.
yeah.
So these are all the Pokemon. They're up for the taking that never had a go in the Big Juice League before. So have a look. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with what we've said on here? Would you change anything around? What are you trying to draft? Obviously, don't tell us that till the draft.
Oh, you should tell us. You should tell us right now. Just leave it in the Discord. Just tell us, even in the comments. Just tell us what you're drafting.
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon.
See ya.